starting that or whatever it is. So
Well, guys, it's 2 o'clock, so let's go ahead and get started. Just FYI, we're live streaming today's meeting, so don't say anything incriminating. I don't know. I doubt anyone's watching. I'm just kind of testing out the technology. But just a heads up. And yeah, appreciate you guys all being here. I thought last week was really good. Just gave everyone an opportunity to. 2 o'clock, so let's go ahead and get started. Oh, hold on. I'm hearing myself. Hold on one second.
Oh, man. Streaming
You
your
hear
own
that?
thing.
I don't know. I doubt anyone's watching. Hold on. Give me a second.
Somebody watched this game and has been trying to take some notes here, and he's trying to get us caught up here.
All right, sorry about that. I had my YouTube page streaming open in another window, and so I could hear myself on like a 4-second delay. Anyways, yeah, it's just good to have the opportunities to check in with each other, see how we're all doing, and to just have some group conversations and see what's going on. So I really just kind of want to open it up, and I don't know if anyone has anything to talk about or something they want to get to. I guess the first thing I'll ask is like, how is everybody? I feel like we don't talk about that much, and I know we've just kind of had our head down, putting out content and you know, doing so much on the basketball side, but we are in a global crisis. So like, how are you guys?
I'm good. Like, I love it. Like, I got time to watch film, like relax a little bit unexpectedly. Like, this is a big like, staycation. So more hoop I can watch, the better, and enjoy as much as you can. Like, I haven't gone outside in like seems like a month, but you know, shit, you don't get too many months off in this career, so enjoy it while you can.
It's been great for me. We have a baby on the way here in about 2.5, 3 weeks, so being able to get the nursery around, spend some time with my wife, and get prepared for that next journey here. So it's been good from that regard. And then you know, just kind of being able to cool out. And you know, I was telling a couple people the other day, this has probably been better for me than the Final Four as far as like a networking opportunity and stuff. You know, it's you know, if you were at the Final Four, we'd all be standing in the hotel lobby watching guys walk through, and with about 2,500 other people. You know, and with this, you're able to join in different settings and have a little bit of a voice and being able to follow up with people. And it's actually been probably better for younger coaches, I think, from that regard, to be able to network and get to know people that way. So I think it's been a huge blessing in some regards.
Eric, you don't have a job, so how's it been for you? all these fuckers that have jobs are loving it.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me, Adam. No, it's been all right. I mean, I'm back at my parents' house and I'm still getting paid, so I really can't complain all that much. I think there's people out there that are definitely hurting a lot worse than I am, and I'm eating home cooked meals every night. So that's not bad. But yeah, definitely the job hunt's a grind. Have a couple leads here and there, but right when I feel like I have a lead, it then just kind of goes dry, and coaches aren't sure about the hiring process, with everything going on right now. So just checking Hoop Dirt and every day and the NCAA website and things like that. And then this has just been great. It's like Tommy said, probably better than the Final Four, to be honest. Like, I wish I had been on this for a lot longer. And it was definitely worth the price, especially in saving money, not going to the Final Four. And that always just turns into coaches going to, bars and drinking anyways. I think this is a lot more productive.
Anyone else struggling with the job hunt right now? Like, how are you following up with like job leads other than like some phone calls, because you can't see people in person?
I've been DMing, there's a coach in Milwaukee, JUCO coach that just got the job, and I just DM'd him on Twitter, and he got back to me right away. So I think just kind of honestly stalking guys on social media is one way to do it, versus just kind of blast emails.
You're sliding into their DMs.
Yep. Just going right to the source. Everyone's on Twitter.
That's the thing, is everybody's on Twitter every 3 minutes right now. It's like they're just scrolling through. It's like, your content and stuff you put out there, you can help yourself with that kind of stuff. I feel like, especially right now.
Right.
How about you, Alex? What's going on in your world?
Nothing. Just watching a lot of film. I just went for a run like 15 minutes ago. That's basically what I've been doing.
Sounds good. Mark? I can't hear you, Mark. Yeah, we can't hear you, Mark. Or I can't hear you at least. No. We'll come back to you, Mark. How about you, Vincent? Everything good with you?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out my audio for a while, so that's why I was kind of silent, but I figured it out now. As long as you can hear me.
What's going on? And you're kind of on the job hunt too, right?
Yeah, kind of on the job hunt at a standstill. Everything's doing good with the current job that I have that's not basketball related with marketing and ticketing. We, meet once a week and everything still, so that's all right. And I just did that yesterday.
Gotcha. Jimmy, what are you guys doing any like special projects? I know like you're probably got all kinds of things you're looking into with your team. What are some things you've been working on?
I'm just kind of going through my own stuff, to be honest. Like right now, I went through each one of our actions and kind of labeling them accordingly. Like, all right, this is just like our delay stuff, but then categorizing it like staggered handoff, lay it in, staggered handoff, jump shot, staggered handoff, hit the roll, like just kind of going through the process, because I think when it comes back to player development, I think I want to kind of see more of like what we did well, like what the exact reads are going to be, what teams are defending, things like. So just trying to be proactive and dive a little bit deeper into just X's and O's, but tie it into player development. So that's something I'm just doing on my own. It's time consuming.
What's the best like postseason project you've done? You've done a lot of stuff in off season. What's the best one for someone who's looking to do something?
I've watched every last 4 minutes of each EuroLeague team's offense because I'm not too familiar with EuroLeague, but I've watched now every single team's last 4 minute offense. So I kind of got a feel for what teams are doing, ATO, side out, underneath, kind of organize it accordingly. And a lot of good stuff. It's a lot different than here in the States, obviously, but a lot of stuff you can steal conceptually.
Big time, Jimmy.
Is anyone else doing any kind of special projects or anything on, just dissecting their team or anything on film or analytics?
Been doing a lot of analytics with our team, breaking down our players, and then trying to find out kind of where they rank with certain things within our league. And then we've been trying to, I've been trying to put it together so that way we can send it to them for stuff for them to work on at home, just because we don't know if we're going to be able to have summer classes and have them here for summer. They already moved our summer classes online, so now it's kind of up in the air on if they're going to be back here for us to touch them, be able to work with them in the summer. So just breaking that down, hey, you're not great going right. Let's work on your ball handling with your right hand, especially. And, when you can get to a gym and work on that stuff. So we've been doing some analytical stuff that way and, just trying to stay on top of our guys with that. So.
Anybody else doing anything unique special project wise?
Not necessarily. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you now. Yeah.
Sweet. Not necessarily basketball wise, but like we're with recruiting, we weren't exactly prepped for not being able to bring guys on campus, obviously. So we're kind of scrambling last minute to put together, a Zoom presentation, and I think I'm gonna run back to campus and videotape the ghost town a little bit. But that's probably not too unique to us, but just picking up on recruiting and trying to make the best of no contact if we can.
What are some of you other guys doing recruiting wise? Like that seems to be the one thing that everyone has gone to is like recruiting or maybe scheduling. So like what, recruiting wise, finding guys, dealing with the transfer market. What are some of you guys found there?
I just feel like, even though I'm not necessarily at a school at the moment, I've been taking time to actually get back to a lot of high school coaches that are hitting me up on Twitter and over email. I feel like a lot of times I just forget, or too busy to actually get back to a lot of those guys, and I always feel bad about it. Now that I have a lot of downtime, actually watching the highlight films, inquiring about their guys, because end of the day, you never know. It could be a diamond in the rough there. So that's kind of what I've been doing.
Anybody else recruiting wise or anything like that?
We just been doing graphics and stuff, just trying to, do as much as we can to try to sell the campus. I keep joking we should, just sell like Pepperdine's campus and tell them that it's Lamar, and then, they show up. But no, they, like that's the hard thing is like so many guys, like we want to see campus. Well, nobody, if you didn't prepare for it and have like a virtual tour or something like that ready to go, it's like you can't do it now, so so really it's it's combing that that transfer portal, and then sending out the graphics and trying to sell yourself. Our assistant coach is doing a really good job of selling our program, but then we'll get on the phone, like FaceTime with recruits, like the entire staff, the assistants, myself, everybody, like almost like it's a an on-campus visit or whatever. Just say what's up to everybody and do what we can that way. But it's definitely hard to do it virtually. And the thing that scares me, I think, and I like to hear what you guys think about this. There's already 600 plus guys in the transfer portal this year. Now guys are committing and to schools without visiting and without having relationships and stuff like that. Like, is it going to be worse next year? Is there going to be more next year just because there's not like a, guys are going to camp, guys are going to schools based on highlight films, and, a lot of guys are recruiting based off of, hey, I saw a guy in the fall, he wasn't quite good enough yet, I want to see him again in the spring. Well, now you don't get to see him in the spring. So now you're just like, okay, we'll take him, type thing. So, I mean, what do you guys think? Think it's, obviously next year is going to be probably more transfers or less transfers, or what do you guys think on if that's positive or negative?
Well, and then on top of that too, the potential for the one-time transfer rule being immediately eligible, that I think that's going to change a lot of stuff too. And I know our staff was kind of talking about it, just how there's a lot of kids who've already entered their names in the portal hoping that happens, like kind of betting on that rule passing. And so just, come, I think it's May 20th is the date they set. Like on May 20th, are we going to see, a flood of people chasing these juniors who put their names in that everyone wouldn't touch right now? Like all of a sudden, do these kids become more attractive? Like what happens? But I agree with Tommy. I think next year is going to be interesting to see what happens with all these kids who are committing without visiting or without really having that relationship with the staff. Especially the grad transfers. I'm interested to see what happens with them. As I'm always interested. I looked a little bit at it earlier this month. I looked at all the low mid-major guards who transferred to high majors and analyzed how their stats changed and their performance changed. Just because one of our guys was doing that. We were trying to convince him to stay. It didn't work. But so I just looked at that and what the difference was, and it's pretty drastic. So.
Is anyone doing anything to get ready for that rule if it does pass? I mean, that's a month away. And like you said, Matt, like if it does pass and is like immediately in effect, which it sounds like it's going to pass, and it's just a matter of like, is it going to be for this year or next year? Like, what are you guys doing to prepare for that? Because that is going to be, I mean, if that passes and goes into effect, I'm going to put my name in the portal. Like everyone's going to, like.
Right. I mean, we're preparing like it's not going to pass for this year.
What's that, Tommy?
Said we're preparing like it's not going to pass for this year. We're preparing as if it's going to be a 21-22.
You may want to come up with plan B just in case,
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, it's one of those things. It's like, it's so like, it's so hard because, your biggest recruits are your own players, right? Like, I mean, that's your biggest recruits are the guys they have in your program already. So now it's like, you're telling them that they can, up and leave. The one thing that I don't understand is right now is, kids know that they can't visit places, right? They know that they can't go somewhere and they can't visit places. They can't, see a campus. They can't get to know the coaches personally. yet there's 650 of them in the transfer portal. You know, it's like, you know, and they don't know if they're going to be eligible right away. They, you know, they're like you kind of said, you know, they're betting on that. You know, what happens when they can visit places? They can be eligible right away. I mean, are we talking 1,200, 1,500 transfers next year? Like, are we talking like over 1,000 transfers next year, which is scary. And, you know, we kind of talked about that a little bit, is just like, you know, there's nothing that's going to tie kids to schools, especially, you know, a kid commits right now, you know, that's a high school kid. And then next year he can transfer out somewhere, like, because he made a mistake because he wasn't able to visit a campus. Like, it's just like a double whammy. You know, it's kind of a scary time, I think, a little bit in that regard. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but like, we're just preparing as if he would have to sit out. And if he doesn't, then we're, you know, then we get a good player that can play right away type thing.
Eric, I'm curious, because you have a lot of experience at the JUCO level. How do you think that rule will impact junior colleges?
That's a good question. I think it's going to be, like Tommy said, it's going to be next year where things are going to get even crazier, because like, we just had 2 guys commit without seeing a campus. You know what I mean? And I think if that goes through, like, if they don't have even a slightly good experience, you know, or like our point guard is going to North Texas, and they got another good JUCO transfer at the point as well. So he's going to be fighting for playing time. And, you know, if he gets beat out, you know what I mean, and is coming off the bench, I could see him getting out right away, sort of thing. And same goes for our center. He just committed to Memphis, but I don't think he's going to be leaving there. But, you know, he had offers from Morgan State, you know, looks from St. John's and a few other places that, you know, if guys aren't getting playing time, I could definitely see everyone just jumping in and trying to you know, change schools.
Would it encourage you guys to like redshirt freshmen more, or like younger kids more? Because like what Eric said, like if you're a new player on a team and you don't get much playing time, like you're probably gonna leave. You know what I mean? Unless you got a great relationship with that kid, which I'm sorry, but like playing time and opportunity most of the time trumps relationships. So it just does.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, if you guys are head coaches, how would you be like handling this and adjusting? I think I would like only keep like eight or 9 dudes active, like, and probably 9. And then everyone else would be like redshirted, because if you're on the active roster and you're not playing, like,
Just basically have your rotation active.
yeah.
Adam, would you still recruit high school kids, or would it just become college transfers and junior college transfers at that point, for if you're a D1 coach?
Yeah, I don't know. Part of me thinks like you'd have a better chance of stealing a really good kid out of high school. Part of me thinks like, I know I would be on the transfer wire hard and be trying to steal one, because it's already saturated. There's already so many transfers that like you can't keep up with them all. So you might be able to get a good one. So I'd be on that hard. I'd be on like DT transfers hard. The other thing I would do, just like as insurance, in case we had a kid leave like in August, like I would start getting some international kids like that you think are good enough, like on the hook, so that if you need someone last minute, because those kids are usually a little older, they usually are a little like, they know how to play already.
They don't know the difference between levels either, usually as much. You can usually steal like a high major kid that doesn't know the difference between, you know, Duke and Lamar type thing.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's going to be paying attention to the transfers. So to me, it makes sense to go pay attention to someone else.
Absolutely.
But I don't know.
And you also have that they're going to start, they're trying to push the go straight from high school for like the best prospects. Like they're trying to decide whether or not they're going to actually do that.
One thing you're gonna get with JUCOs and transfers too is that they can't transfer again type thing. JUCOs usually are gonna come in, they're not gonna want to transfer, you know, one more time usually. And if you get a transfer, you can't transfer again and play right away, right? So, you know, I think you're gonna see a lot of guys go for that waiver wire, like you're saying, Adam, going for the waiver wire transfer portal, just to, because you're guaranteed like if you're gonna be able to keep them a little bit more. If you take a freshman out of high school, I mean, he's a free agent after his first year, right? Like it's a 1-year contract with him. a transfer, if he decides that he wants to leave after just 1 year, he has to sit out.
Do you think that they could use the COVID-19 as a hardship to transfer and get eligible right away?
I don't know. I have no idea on that.
We'll find out.
The way the NCAA hands out waivers, though, I mean, it could be any, waiver for this, waiver for that, hardship waivers. But, I'm more thinking like next year, if this rule, the one-time transfer thing goes into effect, I think the transfer portal is just going to be, that's what I would hit, just because, hey, like you could get guarantee a guy for at least a couple years, as opposed to getting a high school kid that it's like, okay, at the end of the year, you're recruiting him again, basically. That would be my worry.
I'm interested to see if there's going to be, how many coaching relationships are going to be burned by, guys trying to, again, slide into dude DMs and get them to transfer out and things like that. It's already always like a touchy subject, but I think that's going to get interesting.
I would think.
Go
ahead.
Sorry, I'm just curious to know how much importance then is, like, as a college coach, do you place on, going after those JUCO transfers and, instead of just going after high school, do you have to like set like a limit on, how I'm going to, divide out this much time to going after them when there is so much uncertainty?
Good point too. Roster balance is going to be important.
Yeah, crazy stuff. I think it'll definitely impact all levels. Like even like from like junior college is going to get better. We'll probably have an opportunity to get better high school kids.
Oh, absolutely.
D2, NAI will get really good high school kids maybe.
Start recruiting some players that have some better players, that like good friends at higher major programs, and try to convince them to come play for you. Yeah. Package deals and shit. Figure it out.
Even like the kids that like declare pro. Like I wonder if like the G League will get a little older. Like do you guys have a lot of kids in the G League who maybe are like spent 1 or 2 years in college, didn't really want to?
Like there was, I think, probably 10 to 12 guys in the second round alone that only got 2-way contracts, not even get signed. They're not ready yet. Like the guys that are out there, it's hard. It's really hard for these guys to adapt, especially if you're playing for multiple coaches, and it's not easy.
I'm thinking too, the lower levels, like you said, it would impact all levels, Adam. The lower levels, sometimes they keep one in their back pocket. So, you keep one in your back pocket in case school closes. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not funny, but I mean, that's a reality that we're facing right now, is that if a school closes, all those players need to find somewhere to go. You might be able to pick up an all-conference kid off of school closing, depending on, I heard on the news yesterday, they said no sports might happen until Thanksgiving. Might be watching Detroit Lions first thing. Shoot me. But
yeah, schools are closing. That is a real thing.
So how much roster turnover is there in the G League, like during the season? Because I know like guys move up and down, guys can like switch teams and stuff. So how much really is there?
I think it's pretty dependent team to team. Year to year is drastic. We didn't have one returning guy on our roster this year, which is crazy. I mean, we had a great year, so you're expecting to lose those players. But we had no returning players. Mid-season, we probably shuffled 4 guys in, 4 guys out, and we switched our 2-ways mid-year. So roughly half the roster got turned over. But from year to year, the whole team.
When you say you shuffled some guys out, I'm really talking to Matt. Like, what is that? Does that mean they get cut? You just cut guys in the middle of the year in the G League? Because we had Marquell Smith was with you guys, and I know he didn't make it past Christmas break. I wasn't sure what happened.
Yeah, what was your question again? Say that again.
Like when Jimmy's saying like you shuffle guys out, does that like you just cut guys in the middle of the year?
Yeah, I mean it's a possibility. That's what happened with him, for reasons. But yeah, it's like it's one of the things that I liked about it too. It's like if somebody's not performing or somebody doesn't show up somewhere on time, it's a lot easier to hold them accountable because you're paying them. So, I mean, that was kind of the case with us. You know, we find the kid, and especially when they're kids, like if they're, I mean, they have to act like professionals right away, and it's something that they might not be used to, depending on who's in their ear in the team, and also, you know, like who they're talking to, their agent or whoever's back home. But we picked up Jarrett Jack late. And he's 36, and he was just huge for us because like he was like the dad of the team. Like they didn't come to the coaches for questions a lot of times. They went straight to the locker room. I mean, he would host, and obviously he's got money, but I mean he would host like meals and stuff, like time to watch. Like they watched the national championship of college football with him, and he would arrange that stuff. You know, as a vet in the G League, as an NBA vet in the G League, did that stuff. So I mean, it's invaluable.
I think a lot of the time too, the cutting isn't just talent based. Like a big thing is durability of the G League, because there's times you're gonna literally only have 10 guys in your roster if you don't have any two ways, and some guys are banged up, he can't go. Like you need guys that are versatile that can like defend multiple positions and stay healthy. Like that will keep you around probably longer than you probably should, but that's just a reality.
Matt, is Jarrett Jack still a bucket?
And he is a mid-range, like heels on the 3-point line. He's knocking that down. It drives everybody nuts, but he'll hit it.
Does your G League organizations, do you guys do any like scouting, like personnel scouting for yourself, or is it all coming from your affiliate?
We do some. I think they take us into account. Like we have we'll help our GM.
Yeah.
So you
Where you at, Jimmy?
Who you want?
I'm with Long Island.
Okay. Oh, so you got Jeremiah.
Yeah, I wanted him from the get-go, so it took me a little bit of convincing to get him over here, but we got him.
I texted Andy the next day, and I was like, "Why you still on my guys?" I thought we had. It was funny because we all ranked our guys. We ranked our guys. The head coach asked all of us to rank our guys, and I had two guys that weren't our two ways as our top 1 and 2, and I was like one of the only ones, and I was like, "Oh God, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about." But then, like that next week, we got Kyle on a 2-way, and then you guys took Jeremiah, put him on a 2-way. So I felt a lot better about my evaluation skills.
I wanted him since when he was at the PIT and all that, and he's just tremendous. I love Jeremiah. He's a great kid.
Hey, with you guys talking about how you come into a season with 0 returners, do you guys like pick the brains of like JUCO coaches who do that like every year?
We didn't. It was interesting, right? Because like you get all these guys, you know, like kind of the top 5 or so players that you'll have in the 2 ways because they'll be in Brooklyn in training camp. So you kind of get to feel like your top 5 or however many exhibit 10s and so on and so forth. And then you kind of round out your roster of guys that you're kind of recruiting them after they graduate and trying to get to know them, and you interviewed them and all that, and you kind of pick out the rest of your roster. So at least you're not going in cold with just like guys just random. But we didn't. Might be a pretty good idea to do that though.
Even from like a
go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
And Matt, you can probably answer this too. You know, Jimmy, obviously, you know, I know you from college ops, you know, and being in the same league and everything like that. And we've talked about this a little bit, but like, what's the difference? You know, in college, you're dealing with like 18 to 22-year-olds, and you're worried about getting them to class and getting them to function as human beings and, you know, not be jerks and everything like that. You know, what's the difference that you've seen? And Matt, I don't know your background, if you were in college before you got to the G League or anything like that, but like, you know, what's your guys' opinion between the difference between the pros and the college kids? Like what, you know, Jimmy, I know you mentioned that you like, you love the G League, you know, just because of that aspect a lot. Like you're not dealing with, you know, with kids, you're dealing with pros. What's the biggest differences? What have you seen, you know, on your side? So
even though they're pros, I think probably 8 of the 20 guys that we've had are like 22 and under, like or around that range. So they're similar age to what everyone in here is coaching. But I think it's an adjustment for them to realize how much like it's just basketball now. Like this is your career, this is your livelihood. But once they start getting over the hump of like how much needs to go into scouting report, how much you need to study, how much you need to watch your own self, like how you need to watch the game and transition from just watching basketball to actually studying the game. I think it's fun watching them go through that process personally.
Yeah, I think that I would agree. I think a lot of it also is, it's a lot easier to hold people accountable for things that they're doing because you kind of know of everything. Like in college, you got to worry about their professors. Hearing from what their professors are doing. Like so and so is messing up. So and so hasn't been to class in 3 weeks. I'm like, I see him every day. Why? And then you told me earlier. So that's something that you deal with. But for us, it's like, hey, you need to be on the table, ready to get taped at 10:44. If you're not there at 10:44, you're fine. And you learn real quick that it's a business, but it's like it's for you. Like we only need you there to be on time. We need you to be on time so we can get everybody taped before practice. Like there's a reason, and it trickles down. And I think they learned pretty quick that it's. Our guys this year, they were really good too. So we had a couple of older guys. By older, I mean mid-20s, but they were. They were a good group of guys too. Like I would love to go hang out with them. So I think that goes a long way.
Yeah, and like you're saying, like the older guys or whatever that have been around, they kind of probably, build your culture a little bit. But it's got to be a little bit harder in the G League though, because you just don't have so many returners. So there isn't like a quote unquote culture where new guys are walking into it. Like here at Lamar, the one thing that I noticed as soon as I got here is like when the freshmen walked in the locker room, the seniors kind of ran the locker room, and there was no, there was a culture built already. How does that, what is that, I guess there is a culture, I guess, but like, what is that? How is that different? Both of you guys, from college to the pros, the culture building and stuff like that.
For us, like, I think I've been here for 2 years. My first year, we had an older group. Not so old, but we had mature guys that were just out of college, like Theo Pinson, Jordan McLaughlin, 2 guys that are tremendous, just great people. And our older guys like Alan Williams, I know Brandon could probably attest to that, and Mitch Creek, who's in Australia now. These guys are just your prototypical vets, pros. Like we never even had to talk about culture. These guys set the tone every day. They did everything right. They competed every day. They were watching film, asking questions. And I think the young guys just kind of went that way. This year, polar opposite. We had a bunch of young guys, but I think they just bought into working hard and doing things the right way. We had pretty much the same returning staff, and we did things like exactly how Brooklyn does. So like, let's get better and focus just through hard work and build a culture through equity, like sweat equity.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Like it's day to day in the G League. Honestly, like the culture is day to day, just like it's just like you're a roster, just like you being on the roster is day to day, because like you're really just more focused like about getting better every day. And if you aren't focused about getting better every day, you stick out like a sore thumb. You really do, because if you aren't bringing it, you're not getting on the court. And if you're one of those guys, like if you're a stud that's slacking, well, you're not that good, or you wouldn't be here. So like I said, I think we had a really good year on that aspect. It's like we just brought it every day, and everybody we talked about, we talked about 1% better, and it didn't feel like a tagline. It was really like, you got to come in and get better every time, every day.
No, that's good stuff. You guys keep it going if you have more questions about the G League or culture or whatever. I just thought I'd throw something else out. Another question for you guys. I know last week we talked about like shows that people are watching on Netflix and what you guys are doing. By the way, I watched The Scheme finally. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. But wanted to ask about books, like if you guys are reading anything right now, or even have read anything recently that you thought would be really helpful.
I've been rereading this book called The Playmaker's Advantage. I don't know who it's by off the top of my head, but it's basically kind of just like goes into like how athletes, like how like LeBron James sees that guy in the corner, like how he knows he's going to be there like 2 seconds before he's going to be there, like why these certain people have like what they see in the game that leads to like developing like, I guess, that brain muscle memory of like knowing like, okay, if he's going to cut there, he's going to be there, like seeing space, knowing how to attack gaps, just like that natural instinct. And it kind of goes into ways and like how to develop it and stuff. So it's a really good read. Definitely changed a lot of the ways how I saw like coaching athletes.
Can I just get excited that Andy Farrell's here right now, real quick?
Sorry, I'm late, fellas. Had to had a crying baby I had to assist with. So she was supposed to be going down for a nap, but wasn't cooperating. So sorry, I'm a little late, but didn't want to just jump in the middle of the conversation. A couple books I'm reading right now is Make Your Bed is one that I'm reading. I think it's a quick read. Like literally the chapters are 5-6 pages long. And I've been reading one chapter a night, just trying to kind of end the day with that. Another that I'm reading is called The Rise of Superman. And it's actually I'm only about probably 5 chapters into it, but it's more about like extreme sports and how like the adapting skill sets are like when you're like literally like pushed, where some things like extreme surfers or mountain climbers, whatever, like your skill set has to be so good because like your whole body and all your senses and like everything about your being is locked into a single moment. Because like for basketball, it's not life or death. For some of these sports, like it truly is like life or death. So it's a matter of like how you are able to like just truly focus and hone in on your skill sets. And it's pretty good. It's a way of thinking about training similar to like The Talent Code by Daniel Coyle, about how like you like perfect practice over and over and over and over again, things like that. So those are 2 books I'm reading right now that I think are really, really good.
Andy, have you read or have you watched Free Solo?
I did.
Yeah,
Dude.
that's what it reminds me of. Yeah.
Yes, like it's unbelievable. And just watching like his like physical and mental preparation.
Yep.
Like how he would just like document things, or like how he would, practice like a single maneuver for like hours upon hours. Like it was remarkable. I remember like it's crazy when you're watching that movie because the ending. He's fine because he's been across the country doing like TV shows. But like throughout the whole movie, you're like, oh shoot, is he gonna fall? Like is he gonna die? Like it's remarkable.
Yeah.
Some books on tape here. Oh, sorry, Adam. Go ahead.
I was just going to say another, it's not a book, but it's a movie, it's documentary that's similar with that extreme sport thing, is Running the Sahara. Very crazy book about, I think it was like 3 runners that ran from one side of Africa to the other. And you just see like the mental preparation and toughness that it takes to do that. And like, they all take turns going nuts and just completely losing it. Because they're running like 50 miles a day through the African desert. And it's crazy to see them each hit their breaking point at different times, but it's pretty good.
Running the Sahara?
Running the Sahara. I'm not sure how much like useful takeaways there'll be, but it's just amazing like to see it.
I've been doing some books on tape, just 2 of them that I really like. Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. I mean, that's phenomenal. I mean, the way that they, are able to take their training and be able to put it towards leadership. And the other one is Captain's Class. And that one's, so this guy did a scientific study. He took like he had like tiers. So you had to qualify for the tiers. So he took teams, and whether it was, whether it was women's soccer, men's basketball, I think hockey was in there, rugby, from all over the world, and he had championship tiers. So you had to win a certain amount of championships over a certain amount of time and have a certain amount of success. And then he went back and took those and he did some scientific data on it and basically tried to figure out, what made those teams click. Was your best player a captain? Was your best player the captain that kind of, pushed them forward And a lot of times he found out that the best player, that the person that was the captain that actually pushed that team forward wasn't the best player on the team, but they had 7 traits. And I'll let you guys read the books that way you guys can find the 7 traits. They're on my phone somewhere, but 7 traits on every one of those teams to help them maintain success. And it was pretty impressive. He went through the Spurs, and when the Spurs kind of went through their dynasty a little bit about, Tim Duncan, being kind of the leader there. But you would never, just the 7 qualities that he had, and that book was really, really good. But those 2 I've been listening to, I think that they're applicable to our profession. And I think it's something definitely to think about for sure.
What was the name of that book again?
Captain's Class.
It's by Sam Walker.
Sam Walker, correct. Yep.
I had a couple ideas thrown at me in terms of books. Brian Bender, who some of you guys know, talked about maybe doing something where I don't know how he wanted to set it up. Maybe one person a week or one person a day or whatever, but kind of give a 10-minute, like if you read a book, you come on and give us a 10 to 15-minute like summary and some of the biggest takeaways from that book you read. That was one thing. The other thing was, actually starting a book club, which, Andy and I have talked about, and did kind of one early one with the energy bus. It was during the season, so it was kind of hard in terms of timing, but would either of those things be interesting to any of you guys?
I think the book club would be kind of cool.
Like pick a book, everybody read it, and then meet like at the end of the month and talk about it.
Yeah, I like that. It would force me to sit down and actually read it.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what, if has anyone read Make Your Bed?
I kind of want to actually
I'm
looking for the books.
I'm perfectly fine with proposing that one first, just because it's a quick. I mean, literally, it's probably 12 chapters. Maybe I've got it literally right here. It may be less than 12 chapters. It's 10 chapters, 120 pages long. It's a smaller book too. Like literally, if you read, a chapter a night, and if we wanted to meet about it like at the end of the month, like we could easily do something like that, and that'll give me time. Since I'll be done with it in the next week, everyone can just order that book if they wanted to, and we could just put it online. Whoever wanted to go ahead and buy it, they can buy it, and we can meet about it at the end of the month. And it's a quick, easy read. And in that meantime, like I can get some questions prepared and things like that to facilitate conversation. And then to go back about the 10-minute book review of other things, I think that's a great idea. I mean, just like how Tommy was talking about, the captain class or something else, like if someone's interested in a book, like they can kind of hear a synopsis of, oh, that's intriguing, or like, no, that doesn't sound like something I would want to do, but just get some tidbits from it, kind of wet the beak.
I like it.
Yeah, cool. Andy, do you want to make a post, or we could do it afterwards? Make a post on a community site, just letting everyone know the book.
Yep.
And who it's by, so if they want to order it, and we'll meet. We'll meet sometime in a month and chop it up. The other thing that I think we're going to start doing are member spotlights. We're probably going to start as soon as next week, and we're just going to go through. I mean, we got over 700 members, so it's going to take us a while to get through everyone. But just go through the list and pick people at random and give you guys like 15 minutes. And you can spend that 15 minutes on whatever you want. We'll live stream it. We'll put it on YouTube, so you can invite non-members to watch, and that way you have it, just to keep for your, whatever. And if you want to spend those 15 minutes talking about something you're doing for your job, if you want to talk about some issue that you encountered, or review a book or a movie you just watched, or if you're having trouble and you want one of us to like interview you, we can do that. But I thought it'd be a good way to allow us to promote our members, you guys. So you guys think that's, we're doing it, so I don't really care, but you guys think it's a good idea?
Yes, I like that idea, Adam.
All right, cool. would you guys watch that? Like if it wasn't your turn? Would you guys-
Yeah.
Definitely.
Let me ask you guys this in terms of time slots. We've been pretty consistent with going at 2 Central every day. And then we've also started getting consistent with like 11 Central as like our other time slot. Have those times been good for you guys? If we start adding more things like the member spotlight, you know, what would you like it to be like right around then, like 10:30? You know, talk to me a little bit about your guys' schedule.
I have absolutely nothing going on, so I'm free whenever.
So I feel like we all have a lot of time here.
Am I the furthest west? Probably in Seattle.
Yeah,
I don't
probably.
think you can get any more west than that.
Yeah. So.
We do have 2 people from Hawaii in our membership.
Yeah.
So one
So
from Australia too. Tony is from Australia, I think.
He's screwed. He's just like a day and a half later.
Yeah, it's Saturday already there, so he's.
yeah. I mean, 11 Central. You could go a little earlier probably, and I'd get up still. So.
Hey, we got 2 people tuning in on YouTube. How about that, guys?
Hey.
One's my wife, I think.
Nice. For real?
Yeah, I don't know. She's upstairs, but yeah, I think she was planning on it. So.
Nice. Hi, Mrs. Strine.
Tommy, you want to wave to her?
No, I don't.
All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about or discuss before I bring my mom into the fold?
Which that's awesome, by the way.
Yeah, I hope it's.
Great. That was a great idea. Great idea.
It is fantastic. I'm telling you, she can cook. She's so good. She's the best.
Let's see. I thought maybe that would summon her, Andy, but I guess not. Let me text her.
I can easily do the intro for her. Like, you guys don't understand. Like,
There she is.
chocolate chip cookies that she made.
Hi.
Joanne, what's going on?
Hi, not much. Sitting here in my house, in my kitchen. Waiting.
This is my mom.
Hi, everybody.
So she's a chef, and she's very creative. So I don't know. The reason I thought of this is because I'm tired of eating the same stuff, and like we're not just making runs to the grocery store. So yeah, if you tell her like what you have, she can give you.
Maybe I can come up with something.
She can give you some.
We'll see.
I quizzed her the other day. I tried to throw some curveballs at her, and she still did pretty good. So.
All I got is cheese and Fruit Loops.
Oh, that's a challenge. Who's that? Do you have any wine or beer?
Sure, I can find some.
Well, there you go. That'll make the cheese and Fruit Loops taste better.
There you go. That's about
Spoken
five
like
or-
Adam's mother for sure. The
About
apple
5 or
doesn't
6 of
fall too
those.
far.
I'll go first, I guess. We talked about this yesterday, and this is what I thought I'd throw you off with. But we got black beans, we got a jar of baby corn, and we've got chicken.
Well, you know, Adam, I was thinking about that after. I told you to make like a rice dish with that.
You said a stir fry, which I thought sounded good.
A stir fry with black beans. You take the black beans out of the can and wash them off. And if you have some onions or garlic or something like that, I would kind of stir fry the beans a little bit, and either at the same time make rice or pasta and cut up the chicken in there. And what else did you have?
Baby corn.
Oh, baby corn for sure. And then you stir fry that with the rice, or just serve it over pasta. And you have a sauce, a black bean sauce. You can add also garlic.
Soy sauce in there? Or no?
You put a little soy sauce, sure. Or garlic, or if you have any ginger, that would be great also.
Yeah, we don't have ginger.
What?
We don't have ginger.
Okay, so garlic.
Right. We got
Garlic is good. Onions are good. Yeah. Anybody else?
My wife did the grocery shopping, so we have frozen pizza and Kraft macaroni and cheese. Pretty easy on that one, I think.
I think you're set.
Yeah, we're good.
Anybody want a creative
I got a question for you.
Okay, who is it?
Matt Jones, Matthew
Okay,
Jones.
hi, Matt.
So I'm a big fan of like easy dishes. So like, do you have any like 2 or 3 ingredient recipes that you would recommend that are pretty simple and easy to make?
Well, if you have a whole chicken, do you have a whole chicken? Can you get a whole chicken?
Maybe. I don't have one right now.
Okay. One of my go-to dishes is really just a whole chicken and roast that with herbs on it. And you can make so many dishes out of that. Firstly, I make it, I flatten it when I make it first. And then I put herbs on it and I put it in a pan, skin side down, and brown it, and then I turn it over and I stick the whole pan in the oven. But before I stick it in the oven, I cut up whatever vegetables you have, onions, carrots, celery, whatever you have in the house, and I put a little olive oil on that and put it around the chicken. I roast that. That in itself is a meal or two, depending on how many people are in the family. And then afterwards, when I get tired of eating that chicken, I cut off some of the meat and I make a chicken stir fry. I make some rice and maybe some frozen peas and some soy sauce and some garlic, and I stir fry that. You do that by cooking the vegetables first, then putting in the meat. Then you can put scramble an egg in the middle of it and infuse that with the whole dish. And then you can put soy sauce to flavor it, and a little, if you have any sesame oil, that would be great too. So that's 3 dishes or 2 dishes. And then the third thing I do is, once I'm really tired of the whole damn thing, I stick the chicken in a pot of water with whatever meat is left on, and I make a soup. You boil the carcass and whatever's left, you put in onions, celery, carrots, and you can put in rice or pasta or whatever grain you have and make a delicious soup from that.
Thank you.
So that's one of my go-tos for getting one piece of protein and spreading it out for several meals.
Joanne, I've got 2 questions for you. One is, can you talk about the best way to utilize a crock pot? And the second is, I've been making like different types of fruit smoothies every morning, and it's kind of getting a little old for me. So what types of like things can I start adding to the smoothies in order to give a little bit of an extra kick while still staying kind of healthy?
Well, tell me what you're doing.
With the smoothies, I just have a little Ninja blender, and I'm literally just adding frozen fruit. Every once in a while, spinach, sometimes fresh fruit, just depending on how much my daughter eats and what we have left. So I have added, peanut butter once or twice, but
you could add a little chocolate.
Oh, good call. Chocolate and then
powder.
Cocoa powder, chocolate, and then potentially some yogurt too. Those are the things.
That ice cream, if it's for your daughter, it's not that healthy, but it will.
She'll eat it.
Yeah. Punch it up a notch. I always put greens in, but you can disguise that with, as you said, the peanut butter or almond butter, and the fruit makes it sweet. The crock pot thing, I don't use a crock pot, so
that's right. You're a professional. That's for us amateurs.
No, I'm not really. I would use one if I had one, but I don't happen to have one. Gotcha. There's a lot of good recipes for them on the internet, though.
What about the Instapot? Do you use those?
I don't like gadgets that much. I do have a blender and a mixer and a food processor, but I don't buy all the fryer thing or any of that.
I got an air fryer.
Yeah. How do you like it?
I love it. It's a game changer. Absolutely.
Really?
I'm roasting like potatoes, veggies, and I'm doing like salmon too. It's definitely a game changer. And I have an Instapot too.
What one did you get? Maybe I'll get one of those.
I think it was made by Instapot, the company that does that, also did the air fryer, and it looks like something out of like Star Wars. It looks like I mean, it's pretty big and bulky, but yeah, and it takes like 10 minutes to do, you know, some of the easiest, or, you know, stuff that would take like 20, 30 in the oven. So it's definitely for coaches, especially, you know, if you get home late at practice at like 8 p.m. you want to cook something quick, it's clutch.
Sounds good. I might try that.
Definitely.
Another thing I make a lot is chili. I don't know, do any of you like chili?
Mhm.
I make it with ground turkey and chili powder and veggies and red beans. And it's pretty simple. And that's something that you can, you know, it's not fancy, but it sustains you for a long time and it's healthy.
So if you got a bunch of frozen hamburger meat, that's a good thing to do with it.
I use it with turkey, ground turkey meat, but you can do it with hamburger meat, yes. Do you have a lot of that, Adam?
We have a little bit. We have a lot of pork chops for some reason. I don't know why. We got a ton of frozen pork chops.
You
And
do.
we only make it like one way, so.
How do you make it?
We just put, we season it with like lemon pepper and we just saute it in the pan.
I think it would be good with honey and ginger as well. That would be another way you could make it.
So what would I do?
I would coat it with, I would sear it, and then just before it's done, I would coat it with a little bit of honey, and if you have fresh ginger, and it would give it. And you know what else I would do? If you have an apple, I would cut the apple up around the pork chop and kind of saute that in the honey and the ginger and serve that with it.
All right.
Anybody else?
Adam, why aren't you living at home, man? You be living with your mom, you get free meals, you have your own professional chef. This is incredible.
Yeah, I would know that too.
When my mom went to chef school, she stopped cooking for me. She'd be cooking all the time. And then she'd be like, oh, let's go out. Let's order in.
Yeah, I do like to go out. That's one thing. It's a drag being home all the time and not being able to go out.
Joanne, how did you, when you would send us cookies when we were at Clemson, like how did they stay so fresh when you were shipping them? Like they like tasted like they were like just out of the oven and you had shipped them across the country.
I think I always put them in tin cans. Did I?
Yeah, they were always in tin cans.
Those tins really keep them fresh longer.
Tin cans and wax paper. And
yeah,
like the chocolate was like melted on the wax paper. So it was like literally if they taste like they came out of the oven, they were fantastic.
Maybe they went through a hot climate to get to you.
Wow, they were delightful.
Well, I'll send you some more when we can get to the post office again.
Yes.
I know you're always a big fan of those. I regularly send them to Adam and my family. Anybody?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, not to step on Joanne's toes, but like, so my girlfriend joined HelloFresh. Have you guys done any of those, like those meal ship kits? And actually, we just got ours today, so I'm excited. So it's they just ship you all the ingredients you need for your meals and instructions to cook it, and even the stuff that's like they put like intermediate or advanced, they're really not that like, it's really easy to make. So you're actually learning to cook as well as. Like, I mean, and you get, I think they all have like promos, like you can, as soon as you join, it's like half off for like a month or something, whatever it is. So, but it's a good deal. I mean, we were doing that before all this quarantine hit, but then once we hit, we just bumped up the amount of meals that they send us, and it's pretty sweet. It's really nice.
I agree with you. I don't think I tried HelloFresh, but I've tried some of the other ones, Sunbasket, which is more organic, or at least it was at the time. And that is really a cool thing because you get all your ingredients and, as you said, instructions, and you're learning to cook at the same time. So, and you don't have to go to the market.
Yep, it's perfect. It's actually, and you can do it like people do with their free, people do with Apple Music for a while. You just go in, you change your email address, then use a different email address and get the same promo off, or just switch companies. So you go from Hulu to Netflix or something, you still get that free trial. So you still getting the trial price, but who knows how long we're going to be doing this.
Could be a long time. Could be a long
Anyone
time.
else have questions?
I just wanted to, not to plug my girlfriend's business, guys, we're on the subject of food. She's a Whole30 coach. So if anyone's trying to lose some weight while in quarantine and not eat a ton, just let me know. She's just getting started. I can hook you guys up with a deal too.
That's good to know. I might be calling on her.
Yeah, just let me know.
Okay.
All right, well, thanks. Thanks, James.
You're
Love you.
welcome. Love you too. Bye,
Good thing,
guys.
Joanne. See ya.
Thanks.
Everybody stay safe.
All right, guys, well, that was my mom. Next time, bring your wives and we'll get her on there and they can tell her what to make.
Can I set up like just a one-on-one, my wife and your mom, just to
Yeah. Hit her up.
2 hours, just get it done? Like she can just meal prep for a week or something like that with your mom?
Yeah, for sure.
I'll pay for it too.
I'm just going to make sure that I have a HelloFresh box in my kitchen whenever I get that member spotlight. All right, guys, today.
We did HelloFresh too, like a year ago. It was really good.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
It is.
Whoever would have known putting goat cheese on a steak would be so good. Never would have thought of it.
That's the thing. Even if it just gives you new ideas. I don't know. We did the same stuff.
Yeah. Well, I like it too because they send you like a little. I mean, Adam, but they send you like a sheet that you put in. They send you a binder and they send you a sheet, so you put it in your binder. So you're basically creating your own cookbook. But then you can you don't have to keep them all, so you can keep the ones that you want. And then it's like, oh yeah, I really like this. And then you can go to the grocery store and get whatever you need to make it. So I think it's a great idea.
Do you
Especially when I
guys
don't have to cook?
meal plan during the year? Like, is that something that a lot of you guys do? Because I'm terrible at meal planning and stuff like that. So I was just curious if you guys have go-tos or things like that.
I don't anymore. But like I know last year at the school I didn't have a meal plan, so I would just take Sundays and just knock them out. Put whatever you're gonna make, if it's PB&Js or cold cut sandwiches, just putting them in the Tupperware, putting them in the fridge, and then every morning, just grab one and go. That was the only meal prep I ever did. And you got to know how to do your groceries and all that. But just Sundays was the key for me.
Yeah, same. And I was like, not to plug the Instant Pot or the air fryer again, but they're so easy to meal prep with having those two things. And having a girlfriend that's a health coach, that also helps. But yeah, the same thing Sundays, I would just meal prep like a big ass thing of soup in an Instant Pot, and it would last, four days, something like that.
See, I don't really I tried meal prepping once and I didn't really like it. I usually just make sure I make something like for at least for lunch, or if I'm like really late, make like something extra for like dinner, like the night before, and then I just make breakfast in the morning. I just did that every day.
I'd always just do like dinner and then like whatever was left over would be my lunch the next day, and then make dinner again the next day, and then so have the same thing for dinner and lunch the next day type thing. But I grill a ton down here. It's always warm, so it's like I can go outside and grill all year round pretty much. So that's one of the nice things about not being up north again. So Andy, you can attest to that up there. It gets cold up there quick.
It's cold here now, and like we had 60s and 70s for like 3 days straight, and then the past like 2 days today and the next like 6 days are going to be like in the 40s.
It was snowing yesterday here.
My mom always calls. She's like, it's like 30 and snowing. I'm like, well, it's 85 and 90% humidity here. So
that's Texas.
Do you guys like these community forums? You guys want to keep doing these on Fridays? I don't know how much we actually get done, but
it's just good to talk to guys though, man. Just like, just just chit chat, because that's all we're doing is talking basketball. I feel like all week. It's good just to kind of sit down and, like you said, Adam, just how's everybody doing? I don't think we asked that enough. I enjoy that. And then what Andy was saying about the book stuff, I think that would be pretty cool too. Just something different than just basketball. I think for sure.
This is the first time I've done this one, but what I like about these is that they're interactive, like and not necessarily just the Q, like just this one, but like I walked in on the Savor show, like I was actually working on a project, and then I saw it was 2:15. I was like, dang, I was gonna go to this Rising Coaches thing. I should have put it in my calendar or something. But same thing happened for that, and I walked in on the Savor show, and I didn't know that it was like we were gonna be talking. I thought it was gonna be just us listening, like a webinar or something. So he called me out. I didn't like that, but no, I'm just kidding. No, but I like that we're able to, talk on these. I was going to those virtual clinics forever, like that whole time it was open, it was free. I was in almost all of them. And it was just nice to be able to talk and stuff. But an idea that I had was I'm in a round table with a bunch of coaches, and it's awesome. Like we top out at like 7 guys, and we just talk hoops, but like we basically just open up questions to everybody, basically like this, with just a few less people. I think that would be awesome if we could do that with people that like maybe, because people put in the meet 2 coaches a month thing, like who they're interested in networking with, maybe like a group of 6 or 7 people that meet up once a week. So that makes reconnecting easier. You see them every week. I don't know. It's just an easy way to, everybody's talking hoops and you're getting your ideas out. You're getting some feedback on your ideas, and it's not 20 people or 30 people in a thing where it just kind of maybe gets drowned out a little bit. I don't know. It's just a thought.
It's like a think tank, just smaller.
Yeah. One of the things that started happening this past week, which I love, is people started, like our members started creating little one-off groups and panels.
Yeah.
And so please, by all means, do that stuff as much as you want. I know if somebody was concerned that it was like stepping on our toes, that's what we're here for, is so you guys can be empowered to do stuff. Even I've had a couple people ask me questions about hey, can I post this on the member site? You post whatever you want, for real. If you, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Somebody wanted to promote one of their players. It was a high school coach. I was like, yeah, go for it. Who knows? Maybe your prospect is a perfect fit for Lamar University, and Tommy sees it. There's nothing off limits. And look, if I see it and I don't like it, I'll take it down. I got that ability. So just go for it. I want to encourage you guys to feel empowered and use the site and the platform however you guys see fit. The only thing we don't want to get into is bashing other coaches or criticizing other coaches and things like that. But everything else is fair game.
Well, cool. I got my Hello Fresh here, so I'm gonna start my thread right now.
Yeah, there we go. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate everyone tuning in, and for real, we need feedback. So shoot me an email, drop me a line, whatever. Let us know what we can do a better job of. Emmanuel, next time you got to speak up, man. I haven't heard from you all day.
I just love listening. Fly on the wall over here. What's that?
I said, is everything good over there? You hanging in there?
Nah, it's all good over here. Just enjoying the weather, spending time with the family. So
awesome.
I did want to ask.
You're doing, man. I know that you're on here. You're on Zoom. I feel like more than probably anybody I know. So thank you for what you're doing for all of us.
I need a Zoom sponsorship.
I really appreciate it. Say what?
I need a Zoom sponsorship.
I was gonna say you're gonna start getting royalties here, I think. So
at least a virtual background, right?
Right.
Are you guys having to wear masks in public yet? Is that a thing? My mom
I see
in
people
Austin.
do it all the time.
My mom said in Austin you have to right now. If you go out in the grocery store or anything, you have to wear a mask. So I was just curious if that was happening elsewhere.
Yeah, Denver's that way too. I went on a bike ride the other day and I was wearing just a bandana over my face.
You have to?
Yeah, yeah.
We got
Governor
our
instated it.
we got ours made. We made some cloth ones. And every time you go out, you don't have to wear them, I don't think, but like you're like the only one that's not wearing them if you're out and about.
Yeah.
Be careful with the cloth ones though. It's hard to breathe through them.
Mm-hmm.
State of Mississippi just shut down like last week, so we're behind. We're a little behind the times here. So,
We've been down for like a month and a half already.
well, cool, guys. Everybody, you have a great weekend. Appreciate you guys being on.
Stay safe, everybody.
Next week.
Thanks,
Yeah, guys.
guys.